trying to get drunk enough to look my son in the eye and have a conversation.
Can't you see? I'm trying to get drunk enough to breastfeed my own child.
Yeah, it's a problem with how rich people are here in California. It's too rich.
Well, here's one of the problems. It's really true is people are so rich that they start to look at their time by the value of an hour.
That's a great point.
And they're like, if I spend 6 minutes talking to this DoorDash human, alleged human that God has said is human.
That's right.
Well, then that's $700 I'm losing.
And
that's
also,
how they start
when
to
you're
look
like
at
that level of rich, you can kind of just like, you shrug off an amazing amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they go, how bad is it really? You know? And then somebody they go, there's like 300,000 people on the street. And they go, is 300,000 a lot? Is that a lot? They go, because the world has like billions of people. So we're talking about only 300,000 people without homes.
On the street. In India, that would just be a natural afternoon.
Yeah, they're like, that's fine. They go, I don't think that's a problem. And now things are getting so bad, if you try to tell a rich person how bad it's getting, like somebody who's really rich, they act like you're making something up.
Yeah.
Like there was a guy last night, and I was driving on Santa Monica in West Hollywood, and he was just darting, because they dart across like the street.
Well, it's risky for them.
And they just dart across the street, and he had a skateboard with no wheels. He just had the board.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't understand what that was. And he had it, and then he just, in the middle of my car, just stopped and looked at me, like hit me.
Wow.
And I was just like, I'm not trying to hit, you know?
There's people looking for accidents.
It's people that were just like, kind of like, I don't know what it was. He was like a deer in headlights. I was like, God, and I just swerve around him. But it's like people just mentally aren't together, and they need help. Someone needs to help them.
Their people are missing their wheels.
They don't have their wheels, and someone needs to like step in there and help and like go like, hey man, what's going on?
But the only people that they're encountering for any sort of guidance are DoorDash people.
It's DoorDash, but here's the thing at DoorDash people. And by the way, earlier on I said you weren't human beings. Bygones. Let's forget that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because here's what I meant by that. We need you now more than ever.
Amen. Because
what you need to do is rise up.
You are the therapist.
You are the therapist
of our nation.
The homeless people. Yeah. If there's somebody that is homeless and is having a problem on the corner, you need to put the ramen down. Put the ramen down and go address the problem. What's going on, sir? I am a DoorDash professional.
Yes, I'm a licensed DoorDash professional.
Food
clinical
delivery service professional. Can I assist? Now, this person is going to be yelling and pointing at something that isn't there.
Invisible, yeah.
They're going to be pointing at something that in this dimension you cannot see. So you're just going to have to like
bear with them.
Bear with them. Yeah. It's not going to happen. First question, you go, are you on any medications right now? Have you taken any drugs?
Yeah,
and you got to ask that in a non-threatening way.
100%.
You know?
And then you're going to need to. You will be equipped with markers and paper. You're going to need to get these people to draw a picture
of what's happening,
and then a separate picture to calm them down of their ancestors.
No, for sure. And here's the thing: we need to give the homeless people service animals, but service animals that are a little huskier that can take. Because they need a lot of love.
And
some of the homeless people. So we need to go out there with like maybe pot-bellied like pigs, wild hogs.
I mean,
something that can really, something that has a little girth to it.
Animals that got disqualified from the Iditarod.
Yeah, not cute puppies.
Nothing. We need chows. We need Asian animals that can handle this.
Kind of tough, that could slap them around.
That'll be quiet in court.
That can, if they start to fight it back. So that the homeless person learns to respect the animal.
You need an animal that will be quiet in court.
Yeah. You need an animal that lays down the law immediately with the homeless person goes, I will be your emotional support thing, but if you touch me like that again, I'll kill you. I will choke you out and kill you. Well, so sometimes those little kangaroo bears might be good. In Australia, the ones that are just...
the boxing ones?
The ones that are in the trees. And like things like that where they just... You don't think of them as emotional support animals, but they have...
But they know they can do it.
They can do it, but they're also tough enough when the homeless person throws a fit.
They're able to literally pull them down and lay on top of them.
Yeah. We need animals. Gorillas. We need to give homeless people in LA, silverback gorilla, emotional support, so that if they start going nuts outside of a Starbucks, and we should normalize this. Normalize seeing a gorilla sitting on a homeless guy outside of a Starbucks, and you just nod at that gorilla like, thank you. I know exactly what you're doing.
SBGs, they're called, okay? They don't like to be referred to as their full name. Right. But silverback gorillas, they need to be out there because here's the problem. For a long time, Starbucks and some of these other big overlords, as I like to call them now.
The corporate overlords.
They hired like Down syndrome workers. But that's
which is nice.
Which is great, but it's not, they don't have the level of jujitsu.
No, they can't.
That a SBG has.
A Down syndrome worker is it's got to be a nice environment, like an upper middle class, nice.
Like a Vineyard Vines.
Like a Vineyard Vines environment, and because then it's all nice.
Yeah.
If somebody takes a little time, like there's a Down syndrome coffee shop in Georgetown in Washington, D.C., and like the CIA people go in there and they're real nice to them. You know, they're like, good, hey, thank you. And then they go, to wherever they're do horrible things maybe. But the Down syndrome people, they're really sweet.
Right.
They're real sweet. But no, we do need because it can't be, these social workers aren't equipped.
They don't anymore. They don't want to do it. And they've also given up. A lot of them are just creating social profiles. A lot of social workers are also doing OnlyFans, so they get clients confused. You'll have a therapist log on to a Zoom and just start showing their butthole.
Yeah. And it's
like, what is
because the last
this?
thing a homeless person wants to find out is like, can you imagine that you're homeless, you got the big cape.
Yeah.
And there's this guy in Tribeca where I spent some time, sometimes has a big cape.
Oh, I'm sure the government bought it for him.
Yeah, he has like that big furry cape.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
they
like
kind of bedazzle him, kind of like they do those Fabergé eggs.
He's kind of like a Game of Thrones guy, and he's in the winter. He's kind of, it's not a bad look. It's kind of like statue. But then like, he's always kind of rapping to himself. He's always got his headphones. He's kind of doing that back and forth. Yeah, exactly. And then his social worker comes over, is like, hey, what's going on? And then if he's like, bitch, aren't you? And he points to her photo on OnlyFans, immediately she has no credibility.
Yeah, aren't you chatty pussy 30?
Yeah, right. You have no credibility. I'm watching you right now.
Yeah.
I'm watching you right now.